So many of you know me as Lady Rowe, and that's who I've been for many years, probably 7 or 8 years now. I've been Lady Rowe. I was an artist, singer, rapper, performer, entertainer, and this is my story because many people have been asking me, where have you been? What are you doing? When's your album coming out? I want to do a song with you. When you coming through so we can record and all these things because that's what I did, and so that's what people are expecting from me. So here's my story. So I've been doing music my whole life since I was a little girl. Not for real doing music, but I've been singing since I was a little girl and watching my daddy play the piano and really being inspired by him. He's my first inspiration, watching him play the piano and the organ. And so I wanted to play the piano. I wanted to be like my daddy. And my favorite singers when I was a little girl was Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey, Michael Jackson. So I wanted to be like them too. So I would try to sing, try to dance. When I learned that Mariah Carey wrote her own songs, I don't know if that's true, but that was in the credits, that in the CD credits, that she wrote her own songs. Then that inspired me, and I started writing my own songs. So not only was I singing and dancing, but I became a songwriter as a little girl. And throughout my youth, when I was in school, I would throw myself into things like talent shows and plays and different things like that. I would throw myself out there because I was so nervous, and I wanted to get over my nervousness and over my stage fright. And I have friends that were nervous too, and they wanted to do things too, but a lot of times they wouldn't, and I'd be like, well, just do things with me. We could do stuff together, get over this thing together. And sometimes they would, and a lot of times they wouldn't. So I went through school just doing stuff by myself, and trying to get past the nervousness. And even after high school, when I joined the Air Force, I would still try to do things and sing, and not too much, but just enough to where if somebody asked me to do something, I wouldn't be terrified. So I was still singing when I was in the Air Force. Rapping, people didn't know that I could rap. That was like one of my secrets. That was something I did at home, something I did behind closed doors. And I have been doing that since I was a little girl too, which I was inspired by MC Lyte. I was inspired by Lauryn Hill and Salt-N-Pepa and Queen Latifah. And so when I was grown, when I was in the Air Force, I would meet people who did music too. And so I started doing music a little bit, because it was still a hobby for me, just like it was when I was a teenager, when I was a little kid. It was a hobby. I mean, when I was a kid, I did want to grow up and be a singer one day. I did. I always wanted to be a singer, but I didn't know the path to take to do that. It just seemed like one of those things that special people did. Like, you don't just graduate from high school and go become a singer. So I went to the Air Force because that was doable. And so I meet people in the Air Force that sang and rapped and produced music and stuff like that. And then so I got back into it a little bit here and there. But it wasn't until I got to my third duty station, when I was stationed in San Antonio, that's when I started taking it serious. Like, this is not just a hobby for me. This is like, I want to do this thing for real. So started meeting producers and managers, and that's when things really started to take off. When I met this one particular manager, who she was awesome. She had connections, and she got me doing shows that weren't just like little shows, just like performing at a club. Like, she got me some legit shows. And I started attending college, majoring in music business. So I was performing and I was majoring in music business. So I had connections from both sides, from my manager and through the school that I was going to. And as far as my walk with the Lord, I knew that Jesus was the Lord. I was raised Catholic, but outside of being raised Catholic, my mom, she was very serious about her walk with the Lord. She was in her Bible. She was praying for us. She was praying with us. She taught us how to pray. She taught us to read the Bible. She taught us to put the Lord first. So things that I didn't get in church, I got it at home with my mama. So I knew that Jesus was the Lord. Now, was I born again? No. I was a church-going believer. I wasn't a born-again believer. I was a Christian who, wore a cross and go to church, read my Bible, and pray. And as far as denying myself, taking up my cross and following Him, no. So I guess you could call me lukewarm. That's what I was. I was lukewarm. I was carnal. I was worldly, but I knew the Bible. So if you want to have a conversation about the Lord, I could talk all day about the Lord, because I knew the Bible, but I was not walking with Him. So big difference. Kind of like the Pharisees, like they can quote scripture, they knew the law, but when it comes to the real matters, the important matters, they weren't doing it. That was me. Hypocrite, right? So started doing music for real. Was majoring in music business. I even got a job at the radio station. So I got to play my own music on the radio station, plus other artists' music. And this was the hip-hop station. So I was the assistant program director for a little bit. And that was a good experience, to work at a radio station. And like a real radio station, not like online, or, as people's radio stations they do and they house this online. Those are cool too. Like, I like those. But I'm saying, like, I got to work at a real radio station where you can't make no mistakes, because it was live. Everything was live. And so really my name was getting out, from working at the radio station, playing my music on the radio, from going to college, majoring in music business, having a manager that would hook me up with shows that were really good. I got a lot of exposure. Fan base grew. Started doing merchandise, t-shirts, hats, stickers, all kinds of stuff. And I felt like what I was doing wasn't enough. Like this is cool, but I need to do more. And so I decided to leave active duty after 9 years. 9 years, like, who does that? Yeah, so I left active duty after 9 years and went to the reserves, which everybody thought that was crazy. Like, I had a good job, everything was going well, I had gotten promoted, so it wasn't like I was a slacker or a loser. Not saying the people that do that are slackers, but I'm saying, like, things was going well for me. Things were going so well, it didn't make sense for me to leave active duty. I could have just retired, right? So, and everything was good. Like, I didn't have anything on my record or anything in my file that would have made them want to kick me out, or, just everything was going good. So I went to the reserves because I said I needed to dedicate more time to the music. So my life was music, not Jesus. My life was all about my career in music. So I left active duty, went to the reserves, Air Force reserves, and I was active duty Air Force. If I didn't say that already. I know I said military, but I don't know if I said Air Force. So I was in the Air Force. And my life in the Air Force, I was having a good old time. I was partying, I was drinking, I was clubbing. Me and my girls, we was looking good, doing this and that. Had my little boyfriend, living in sin, fornication, shacking up, all kind of stuff. Did it bother me? Nope. because I didn't have the fear of God. I didn't fear God. Maybe I feared God a little bit, but not enough to make me do the right thing. Not enough to make me say, you know what? I don't need to be shacking up. I don't need to be having sex. Nope, not enough fear. So I left active duty, went to the reserves, and there was a particular job that I wanted when I was in the reserves. And I told them that I wanted that job, and they said no. They said the job didn't open up for 3 years. And I was like, well, I'm not waiting 3 years on that job. So I started looking online for schools doing either music or acting, because I was also doing acting. I was doing plays, I was doing movies, I was doing TV shows. Not big roles. I had, like, background extra roles. And as far as plays, when I do plays, I had like lead parts or important parts. But when it came to movies and TV shows, I was doing like background work, which was fine with me because it's still paid and still got to put that on my resume. So I went online, I started looking up schools for acting and schools for music. So I found a school in New York that was an acting school. And I was like, okay, that sounds pretty good. I can move to New York, get my name out there in the movie industry and do music on the side. But then I found a school in LA where it was a music school. And I was like, that sounds good too. I could go to LA and, go to school for music and do some acting on the side. Because, LA, that's the movie industry there. So it was really like a win-win situation if I went to LA. Because we're in New York, it would be more so acting and a little bit of music. And I would have missed the music. So I was like, okay, all right, Lord, I'm going to go to LA. I'm going to do this. Contacted my sister, and I enrolled in school, still in San Antonio, but I was doing all this stuff online, calling my sister on the phone, going online, enrolling for school. And then the job that I wanted in the reserves that they told me that I had to wait 3 years for, that job opened up like a month later. And so I'm like, the Lord answered my prayers, and this job opened up that I've been praying for. I was praying for that job, but I didn't think that I was going to get it because they told me no. They were like, you had to wait 3 years. So I was like, well, I'm going to go to school in LA. And so by that time I had enrolled in school already. Now they talking about this job opened up, the one that you wanted, and we need you because the person that's in that position, she's leaving. So can you stay? Can you do this job? And even and I was even going to get promoted because at the time I was E5. Was it E5? No. Yeah, I was E5, and they said that the position was for E7. So I was about to be an E6 anyway. So they were like, after you put on your stripe, your tech stripe, then they're gonna go ahead and promote me to E7 and put me in that position. So I've been making like major money compared to what I was already making. I was making good money as an E5, but I would have been an E7 soon, and I had never heard of that, going from E5 to E7. But like I said, I was about to put on E6. I was about to put on tech anyway. So that was the deal. That was the deal. And I turned it down because I was like, no, I enrolled in school in Hollywood, and that's where I'm going. I'm about to go do this music. I'm pretty sure y'all will find somebody else. And I felt kind of bad. I felt bad, but I was like, I got to follow my dreams. I got to follow my heart. This is my future, my destiny, and I'm going to LA. And so I left Texas. I left San Antonio, and I moved in with my sister, and I started going to school at MI, Musicians Institute in Hollywood. And I stayed with my sister for about 3 months, and then I moved to Hollywood. So I was right down the street from my school. So I was living in the heart of Hollywood the whole time that I was in school. Which that's a whole nother video, a whole nother story about Hollywood. This video is about my story. So I was in school. I made friends. I made fans. I had a lot of opportunities to do all kind of shows, and I did all these shows. I started a band, hip-hop band, because that's what I did. I was rapper, singer. People knew me for doing both, for singing and rapping. The band was on fire. The band was hot. We was doing it. You know, we was doing shows, and it was really live. And I just wanted things to be bigger and better. Like if I had a show, I wanted a bigger show. If I had, you know, a song, I wanted a better song, a hype song. Like I wanted everything like times 10. You know, I wasn't satisfied with anything that I had. My clothes had to be, you know, crazy. My hair had to be crazy. Like everything had to be so on point. Like I was like a perfectionist, but crazy. And it was just the drive to really be to be the best, the drive to be like I wanted to be the I don't know, the Michael Jackson of rap, or you know, I wanted to be the Beyonce of rap, or whatever. Like I wanted to be where they were. You know, I didn't want to be average. I didn't want to be just like another singer or another rapper. I had to be better than whoever was out there. And people would compare me to other artists, and I didn't like that. You know, I wanted to be like in my own league, because you know, people never compared Michael Jackson to anybody, and they never compared Whitney Houston to anybody. It was like when you say somebody sing like Whitney Houston, you basically saying they sick. Their voice is just crazy. If you saying somebody's like Michael Jackson, they just, you know, that's ridiculous, right? But nobody says Michael Jackson is the, no, there was one, you know, and I wanted to be that of hip hop. And so I was definitely on my way. I was on the path that led to destruction. And of course, people that live that life don't necessarily see that, you know, because that life is so exciting and it's so fun. You know, you're making money and you look good and people want you and they love you and they want you here and there, and you know, people calling you. And the life of an artist is a life of self. You know, that life is not about the Lord. I don't care if they singing about Jesus. That life is about self, you know. And so it's hard. I know it's especially hard for gospel artists and, you know, Christian rappers, Christian hip hop artists to do that, because people start to give you glory. People start to worship you, you know, and then you have to market yourself. You have to promote yourself. You can't just be like, you know, I'm going to be an artist and I'm not going to tell anybody, because then you're not going to make any money. And what's being an artist about? Making money, making a living. You know, what's the point of putting yourself out there if you're not going to try to make money? So every artist that is an artist, that has a name, that has a website, a Facebook, or anything, they are either making money or they're trying to make money. You know, don't think that artists are just out there so people can hear their talent. They might say that, that might be their intentions in the beginning, is so people can know who they are, but ultimately, you know, they're trying to make a living. And then sometimes when there's, you know, when the person's really talented and or they look really good, people are really attracted to them, then they want more than just people to know that they're talented. They want more than exposure. They start to want glory. They start to want money. They start to want, like, you know, I'm doing this thing and, you know, I got 100 fans, I want 1,000. You know, now I got 1,000 fans, now I want 10,000. I got 10,000 fans, now I want, you know, 100,000 and 1,000,000. So it's like it's never enough. It's never enough where you are as an entertainer. Whether you're an athlete, you know, you're a basketball player, you got to be the best. You know, whether you an actor, you know, and you doing your thing, eventually you're gonna eventually want that Oscar or that Emmy. You know, eventually you're not gonna be satisfied with the level that you're at. Maybe there's that small percentage of people that are satisfied with that, but a lot of times when people start to glorify you and start to say, man, you can go so far, then you start to say that same thing, like, yeah, I can. What am I doing? I need to get on that. I need to do that. You know, and that's why it's so hard being an artist, you know, and especially being an artist and trying to serve Jesus. That's so hard. That's so hard to do both. It's just like serving money, right? If you love money, you can't love money and love God. You can't. And so being an artist, it's hard to be an artist. Do you and serve the Lord, follow Jesus Christ at the same time. It's very hard. If you are doing that, one is gonna suffer. You know, you either gonna devote your all to your music, to being an artist, or you're gonna devote your all to the Lord. That's my opinion. Where was I? Talking about my life in Hollywood. Doing shows, had a band, performing gigs in Vegas and gigs in obviously Hollywood. What we do, Coachella in Indio, California. But even prior to that, having the band, I did shows all over the country prior to moving to Hollywood. I failed to mention that, but I had done shows in Atlanta and New York and Washington and New Orleans and Lake Charles, and this is Louisiana, by the way. Lake Charles, Louisiana, Houston, Dallas, Austin, San Antonio, the South by Southwest. Like, I did tons of shows prior to moving to Hollywood. So by the time I got there, my resume was already built up. So it was super easy to get even more shows, to get even bigger shows, because I had already done tons of stuff already. And then on top of that, going to the school that I went to, they had just a slew of stuff, lined up. House of Blues, the Hard Rock Cafe, just all kind of stuff that you could do as an artist. And I had favor, with the school. They would always, call me, hit me up, Lady Roll, we got this, we got that. You gonna do it? Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do all of it, because I was trying to get there. I was trying to climb that ladder, and I didn't care what people thought. If somebody was like, Lady Roll, she's, whatever, blah blah blah. I didn't care, because I had a goal in mind, and I was so determined. I was so focused on reaching that goal. I was so focused on that. And I didn't care. And I felt like this is the Lord. He's opening all these doors for me. And, but truthfully, when I look back on it, I was opening those doors. I was, calling people and contacting companies and, telling this person to, put in a good word for me, or telling this person to contact that person. If I knew that you knew somebody that I needed to get in contact with, or you were like, friends with the A&R of this label, like, I had teachers that used to work at labels and they knew people. Like, I just had all kind of connections. And so I let it be known, you got connections, you need to hook me up. And people would. And so, like I said, doors were open and doors were flying open. And do I believe that God was doing that? No. Why would God open doors for me to go to hell? You know what I'm saying? Like, does that make sense? Why would God do that? And I was giving him glory. But, the Bible talks about that too, that with men's lips they honor me, but their heart is far from me. The Lord said that, and I definitely gave God the glory. I wasn't ashamed. I'd be like, the Lord did this, the Lord did that, and the Lord was drawing me to him. He was allowing me to knock on these doors and contact these people and do all these things, because he knew that by the end of all that I was going to end up really serving him truly with my whole heart, and not, one foot in the music industry and 1 foot in him, because you can't do that anyway. You can try, and that's what I tried to do, being lukewarm, hot and cold, so I was warm. I wasn't with him. And the Lord says, if you're not with me, then you're against me. I was against him. I didn't know. I thought, I could do both. I was like, I'm an artist, I'm still giving him glory. I'm an artist, I'm still going to church. I'm an artist, even in my songs, I'm saying, God this and Jesus that, and I'm doing the right thing, right? No. And he let me know. He let me know because I wanted to serve him. Because in my heart, I'm like, yeah, I'm serving the Lord. This is what I'm doing. I'm doing this music for God. I'm giving him glory because he's hooking me up with all. No, you can't say that God did something and you did it. Well, you can. People do it. I did it. I said it. But that's not the truth. But he knew my heart. He knew that I wanted to really serve him. And so eventually he pulled me out of all that. But I'm not there yet. So let's get back to where I was. I was talking about shows and this and that. And so when you're an artist, you live the life of an artist. I mean, some people pretend and perpetrate, but I was an artist and I was living the life of an artist. I was partying, I was clubbing, I was drinking. Same thing I was doing in the Air Force, but instead of doing it where I was stationed at, now I'm in Hollywood. So I'm doing the same, same worldly stuff. But this time, I'm where all the celebrities at. This time I'm around, even bigger demons, even more, craziness. I'm around people that want my soul. And when I was on active duty, I wasn't around people that wanted my soul. I was around people who were just like me. We're in the Air Force, we having fun, and that's that. But now I'm around people that literally, they want to use you, because they're like, think about it, Hollywood, like, everybody is a groupie, everybody, except for those who are celebrities. The celebrities aren't groupies, but everybody else pretty much, they're there to visit and take pictures and see who they can see and get autographs, or they're there and they live there and they're trying to be like the celebrities. But in order to be like the celebrities, you have to get close to the celebrities. Well, first of all, that ain't how you do it. That's what people think, that's how you do it. So people try to get close to them. They try to, well, are they going to be at this club? Are they going to be at that event? Then I'm going to go, I need to go. I need to get in the Grammys. I need to get in the Laker game. I need to get, so people, they try to do, and I'm not talking about just regular folks. I'm talking about people who want to be famous. I'm talking about a lot of people who move to Hollywood with this dream in mind that I'm going to make it, And even people who don't move to Hollywood still have that same dream. People who live in Montana and New York and Virginia and everywhere, they have that dream. People who live on the other side of the world have that dream. I'm just saying in Hollywood, it's so right there in your face. You see it every day, all day. Everybody around you is doing the same thing. They trying to be a model. They're trying to be a dancer. They're trying to be a singer, a rapper, an actor. They're trying to make a career in the industry. And so that's what I saw. That's what was around me every day, all day. And I just fit in with that, like, what are you going to do? You going to not party, not drink, not have sex? I mean, I'm sure there was very small percentage of people who didn't, but for the most part, the 99%, they did that. Drugs, all that stuff. People, that's Hollywood. And I got into that lifestyle and didn't think anything of it, because when you're surrounded by people who are all doing the same thing, it doesn't feel strange. It doesn't feel like, what am I doing? Like, I'm doing what everybody else is doing. And so I'm living in sin, living in fornication, adultery, drunkenness, being a hypocrite because I'm calling myself a Christian and I'm not doing the things that the Bible tells me to do. You can't do both. You're either with the Lord or you're not. And after so many, how long did I do that for? Like 2 years. 2 years strong of doing that, 2 years strong, and then started to feel conviction, guilty. Started to feel like this is not good. And it was like the more I did it, the deeper conviction I would feel, and the more that I felt like I couldn't get out of it, the more I felt like I can't stop. Like, I'm doing this for 2 years. There's people who've been doing it 10, 20, just that's their lifestyle, especially a lot of the celebrities. You see them, you see what they do. That's not fake. That's what they do. And I saw a whole lot of other stuff too, just like crazy stuff that people do to get to the top. And a lot of them won't get to the top because everybody can't be famous. Everybody cannot be a celebrity. But you'd be surprised the things that people do to get there and still don't make it. So don't waste your time. Don't do it. It's not worth it. So I started to really feel guilty. The more I did it, the more I felt like I couldn't stop. Kind of like people who are on drugs. Like, the more drugs they do, the more they can't quit. Like, I'm addicted now. So I was addicted to sin. I was addicted to that lifestyle. I could not get out. And there wasn't anybody around me that was feeling like me. Everybody around me was like, yes, like, this is the life. We doing it. So I was by myself. But the Lord was speaking to me. You know, when I would read my Bible, you know, I was already reading my Bible. I've been reading my Bible, you know, and never did I want to come out of that life and want to change. But at this particular time, 2 years later, I felt like I needed to change, because I was getting depressed. Like Lord, I can't stop. Like I felt like I knew that I was going to hell. I knew that I was on that expressway to hell with gasoline draws on. Mona. That's where I got that from. I felt like I was on the expressway to hell with gasoline draws on, like for real. And it wasn't funny to me, you know. Like the life that I was living was not. It wasn't cool. Like it had always been like, this is the life, and I'm doing it. I'm going somewhere, and so things became I don't know, things just started to look evil. Things started to look bad. Like, I need to come out of this. I need to come out of this. I need to stop doing this. I need something else. And the Lord let me know it's Him. It's Him. He's the only one that can do it. And so I asked Him, I said, Lord, whatever it takes, do whatever you got to do to get me out of this. Whatever it takes. You know, and even if it's something bad, like I was willing. I was so desperate for the Lord. I was so desperate to come out of the depression. I was so desperate to come out of that feeling like I'm going to hell. You know, because not that I feel like I was about to die. You know, we don't know when we're going to die. I could die today. And I didn't know when I was going to die. So I just knew that if I did die, I wasn't going to be with Him. I wasn't going to be with the Lord. And so I said, Lord, I can't do this. And, you know, people in the industry, they see so much crazy stuff. And they really, a lot of times, they'll just turn to drugs because they don't know where else to turn. They don't think like, well, you know, I should turn to Jesus. No, they think everybody else turning to drugs, maybe that's my way out. That ain't the way out. That's the easy way out. And it's not, you ain't really out. You go to drugs and you're not out. If anything, you even worse. You know, you stuck even further. Even with more demons, you know. And so I told the Lord, you get me out of this, Lord. I'm yours. You know, you get me out of this, Lord. I'm yours. My life is yours. Everything is yours. The music is yours. My past, my present, my relationships, I knew that I couldn't keep doing that. I couldn't keep doing what I was doing, living for myself, living for the world, you know, just falling deeper and deeper into sin. I couldn't. And so one day, it was December 31st, the last day of the year, 2011. The Lord, He did something inside of me to where what I previously was stuck in and cared about, basically the world and pleasing people and music and sin and everything else, it's just like He just turned it off. He turned off my feelings towards the things that used to matter to me. And January 1st, the next day, I knew that I was different. I knew that I was different. I repented of my sins. I said, Lord, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not connected to the world anymore. I didn't care what people said. It was just like I didn't want that no more. And I told the Lord, I'm yours. I'm done. You know, I confessed my sins and I didn't look back. And after that, I lost some friends, you know, people who used to roll with me, used to hang with me. They would like, there wasn't anything that we had in common, you know, anymore. When you run with people that like to do those things, that like to sin, and then you stop, then it's like, well, you gonna come with us? No, I can't. You know, so you lose those friends unless they decide that they're gonna follow Jesus too. Unless they decide, you know, I'm gonna come out of the world, be separated from that, and I'm gonna come over here on the right side, you know. Unless they do that, then you can't really be friends. You can't really roll together. What does it say about being unequally yoked? You know, you cannot be believers and unbelievers can't walk together. They can't be unequally yoked. You going this way, I'm going that way. It's just not gonna work. So I lost friends, boyfriends, the music that changed. You know, it was like went from doing shows every week, you know, having a band to no band. You know, doing shows every week to, I'm not gonna say no shows, but maybe like once a month or once every 3 months, and that didn't bother me. So whereas before that would have bothered me, I'd have been like, "Yo, something wrong." I gotta perform. I could perform every day. You know, that's what I wanted. I would have, if I could have, I would have done it every day. So if I didn't want to perform every week, it was a problem. But this time, you know, once I was born again, I had a show once every 3 months. It didn't bother me. It didn't bother me at all, because I was no longer led by my flesh. I was no longer led by my desires, what I wanted to do. You know, I wanted to be on stage every day. I didn't care anymore. It was like now, like, well, Lord, if I'm never on stage again, I don't care. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do, Lord? And if the Lord says, go sit down, okay, I go sit down. You know, and I wasn't bothered by it. I wasn't like, oh, I can't wait for the Lord to give me another show. Like, no, I didn't feel like that. It was like, whatever you want. Whatever you want. Sincerely. Not fake, you know, because that was before when I'd be like, Lord, I'll do whatever you want me to do. And the Lord tell me to do something, I would not do it. I'd be like, nope. Nope. Give up music? No. Are you serious? Like, Lord, you gave me this gift. You gave me this gift to sing all over the world and let people hear my music. Where is that in the Bible? Nowhere? Okay. So that's when things changed. My hair changed. Went from the long, you know, the long weave. I mean, I know I got braids, but I mean like the long straight weave. I went from that to pink hair to no weave. You know, I had the little afro mohawk. You know, went to having natural hair, which that's another testimony in itself. I should do another video on that, on the hair thing, because I used to be ashamed of my hair, my own hair. So anyway, went from wearing, you know, flashy clothes, shiny, you know, blinged out, this and that, to just regular clothes like what I got on now. Just regular clothes. Went from, what else? Besides friends, boyfriends. Oh, yeah. Sex. Went from having sex to no sex. Is that possible? Yes. In Jesus Christ, it is possible. Previously, I would have told you no. I would have been like, no, it is not possible to go any period of time. Well, I'm not going to say any period of time, but a long period of time without having sex. That's what I would have told you previously. If you would have asked me before I was born again, I would have been like, no, everybody doing it. And if they say they not, they lying. That's what I would have said, because that was my life. You know, I couldn't stop, so you can't stop. You know, but that's a lie. The Lord can do, he can do anything. With God, nothing is impossible. You know, and I'm a living testimony of that. Yes, you can go without having sex. Yes, you can go without drinking. Yes, you can go without partying. Yes, you can go without doing music every single day. Yes, you can go without recording and being on the stage and having the whole world worship you. Yes, you can. And you can go without doing drugs. You can go without gambling and being a womanizer and being a prostitute. You can go without everything that the world says you can't live without. You can, because the only one you need is Jesus. So what's I saying? My life changed, friends changed, clothes changed, hair changed. Even where I was living. So I was living in a 1-bedroom apartment in the middle of Hollywood, and it was nice. It was cool, you know, nice little place. Went from that to living in a RV, a motorhome, which that's another video in itself too, another testimony. And I wasn't afraid, you know. At first I was afraid, but the Lord, he took that fear away from me. Like, why are you worried about what people gonna think? Why are you worried about, you know, living in this nice apartment in Hollywood to live in an RV? Who cares? Who do you belong to? You belong to Jesus Christ. So why do you care what people think? Because people going to talk and people going to say this and they're going to say that and they're going to write to me on Facebook and they're going to call me and they're going to text me and they're going to see me walking down Hollywood Boulevard and be like, what are you doing? You know, after this life, are you going to answer to any of those people? No. After this life, you're going to have to answer to Him as to why you didn't live for Him. I was doing music for you, Lord. Well, you know what? You know what the Bible says? That many are going to say to the Lord on that day, on their judgment day, Lord, Lord, I did this in your name. I did that in your name. I did music in your name. I toured the country in your name. I wrote songs in your name. I performed at different churches in your name, and I ministered to all these people in your name. Really? But if you didn't live for Him, then you did all of that in vain. Because He's going to say to you, be gone from me. I never knew you. So you can claim to know the Lord all you want, but if He doesn't know you, it means nothing. So how do you know the Lord? Well, you have to seek the Lord. You have to seek Him. You have to want to know Him. You can't walk around like, well, you know, if I'm know the Lord, He better let me know He's real. But you got to have faith. The Bible says it's impossible. It says without faith, it's impossible to please God. So first you got to believe. First you got to have faith and know that He's real before you walk around talking about, well, I don't know if God is real and the Bible is ancient and man wrote the Bible and the Bible this and God and Jesus. Like, no, you got to be like, I know He's real. I believe that He's real and I want to know Him. And when you say that in your heart for real, I want to know Him for real, then that's when He's going to let you know that He's real and He's going to show you exactly where you're supposed to be going, what you're supposed to be doing, because that's what He did for me. When I got serious and I said, okay, Lord, I'm done. I'm done with me. I'm done with my life. Is my life terrible now that I've decided to give the Lord all of me? No. Am I dead? No. Did I stop singing? No. Did I stop writing and rapping? No. Just because you don't hear it doesn't mean that I stopped. The gift is still here. He gave it to me. How do I look? Do I look crazy? Do I look, am I bald-headed? Am I ugly now that I'm not on stage every single week performing at the whatever? Am I, what do I look like? Am I talking crazy? Did I lose something? Let's see, what else would people say? Say, they might think that I lost my gift. Nope, I didn't. They might think that I'm broke. Nope, I'm not. I'm making just as much money as I was when I was doing music. Just not getting paid for music now because the Lord doesn't want me to get paid for music because He's blessing me. And I don't have to. I don't have to do that. What else? Am I depressed? No. Do I look depressed? Do I sound depressed? Hello? What else? Oh, Lady Ro, how have you been? When's your album coming out? My album is not coming out. I'm not working on the album. I'm not recording. The only recording I'm doing is this video and whatever videos in the future the Lord tells me to do. I might do some videos of the songs that the Lord's given me. I might do that. Because He told me. The Lord told me that He wanted me to do that. You know. So it's not like I came up with that idea. The Lord told me He wanted me to do that. So I'm going to do that. When? Soon. You know, don't you know, send me messages talking about when's that video. Look, when the Lord tell me to do it, I'm going to do it. What else? I'm not broke. I'm not depressed. Yes, I can still sing. Yes, I can still rap, and I still do. I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect. None of us are. I just choose to obey the Lord because He said, if you love me, then obey me. You love me, feed my sheep. What does that mean? Preach the gospel. Tell people about Jesus Christ. Like this video in itself is me being obedient to Him. It's not because I missed y'all so much and I wanted to make this video and tell you how I'm doing what I'm doing. No. I love you. And this video is for you. It is for you. It's not for me. This video is not for me to get any glory or for because I'm bored. Like, this video is for you. This video is for somebody who's chasing after the money, chasing after the music, trying to be, you know, the next whatever, and not realizing that you are really on a broad path that is leading to destruction. What is destruction? Hell. Hell is eternal. It's not a place here on earth that you can see. You know, it's a place that, yeah, you'll see it if you go to hell, you'll see it, but it's not here. It's not here on earth. Because some people say, well, hell is it's a place here on earth. You know, when you die, you're just gonna go to sleep. Listen, if you die and you go to sleep and that's it, that's great. But that's not what the Bible says. The Bible says that when we die, we're gonna be judged. After this life is a judgment. And there's two places, either heaven or hell. You know, you don't get to choose the middle ground. You don't get to say, well, I wasn't so bad, so I'm not going to hell, and I wasn't perfect, so I'm not going to heaven. I'm gonna go to what's that place? Perdition, not perdition. Is it perdition? You know what I'm saying? The other place, nirvana, the other place. There's no other place. There's heaven and there's hell. So you make sure you're on the right side. And I don't know if there's anything else to my testimony. I'm sure there's something else that that I can think of, but seriously, for the entertainers, comedians, actors, rappers, singers, songwriters, people, anybody that's watching this video that is pursuing being famous, that's pursuing being rich, powerful, you want to be the next Oprah, you want to be the next Beyonce, you want to be the next Bill Gates, whatever you want to be, you have to forget about what you want. Forget about, like, that's not important. If you live your life pursuing your dreams, following your heart, you're probably going to end up in hell. And it's not a fun place. It's not an imaginary place. It's a real place. And it's not funny. It's not a joke. You know, these musicians sing about hell and sing about the devil, and, you know, the whole Grammy performance was satanic. Like, it's not a joke. The Illuminati and all that, it's not a joke. This stuff is real. You think these artists throw up this, you know, symbolism on the album cover and in videos and stuff like that just because they like those symbols? No, that stuff is real. And you want to be like that? You want to be on the path to hell like them? No. Maybe you do. You don't know that, you know, that's not worth it to be burning in hell for all of eternity. It's not worth it. Jesus he did so much for us, and he didn't have to, but he loved us that much. The Lord, he loves us that much that he came here and he died for us. He lived and he died and he rose again, and he sent his Holy Spirit here so we wouldn't have to be by ourselves, you know, so we could continually walking it out, walking his ways, because we can't do it by ourselves. We need the Holy Spirit. We need the Lord. Man, I'm just saying too much. This video is probably way too long. But this is for somebody. And feel free to hit me up in the comments, whatever. You know who I am. Was Lady Ro. I know you're gonna be like, Lady Ro, Lady Ro. Yeah, was. Now I'm Ro. I'm the same person, but I'm saved. Now I'm delivered. I'm delivered from that life. So don't feel like you can't talk to me because I don't do music no more, because I'm not that chick. You can still talk to me because I love you and I want to know. If you got questions, just send me a message. All right. Love you guys.